Luigi Mangione, a 26-year-old Ivy League graduate, was arrested in December 2024 for the targeted killing of UnitedHealthcare CEO Brian Thompson in Manhattan. He now faces multiple charges across different jurisdictions, including state and federal courts, making this an unprecedented legal battle with parallel prosecutions. Since his arrest, Mangione has issued statements that have stirred intense public debate. His legal team launched a website, LuigiMangioneInfo.com, to share updates, where he recently broke his silence in early February 2025. In his written statement, he expressed deep gratitude for the letters and support he has received while jailed at MDC Brooklyn. "I am overwhelmed by and grateful for everyone who has written me to share their stories and express their support." Powerfully, this support has transcended political, racial, and even class divisions, as mail has flooded MDC from across the country and around the globe. While it is impossible for me to reply to most letters, please know that I read every one that I receive. Thank you again to everyone who took the time to write. I look forward to hearing more in the future. His message highlights the unusual coalition of supporters rallying behind him. While he did not address the charges, his public acknowledgement of the backing he has received adds another layer to the ongoing discourse surrounding his case. His website also includes personal requests, such as limiting photo enclosures to 5 at a time and asking supporters to stop sending so many books, reflecting the overwhelming volume of mail he has received. An online movement has emerged in his support, with a growing community on platforms like Reddit amassing tens of thousands of members. Supporters actively track case updates and donations to his legal fund, which has exceeded $400,000. Many view him as someone standing against corporate corruption in the healthcare industry. Discussions in these online spaces often frame him as a folk hero, despite the murder charges against him. Some have even called for boycotting corporate-backed narratives, instead urging others to contribute directly to his legal defense. On the morning of December 4th, 2024, Brian Thompson, the CEO of UnitedHealthcare, was shot outside a Midtown Manhattan hotel just before an investor conference. Prosecutors allege the shooter approached from behind, fired twice with a 9mm ghost gun equipped with a silencer, then fled on a bicycle before escaping by taxi. At the scene, investigators found shell casings inscribed with words like deny, depose, and a bullet marked delay. Authorities identified Mangione as the prime suspect, citing evidence that suggested weeks of premeditation. After the attack, he vanished, triggering a multi-state manhunt. Surveillance footage of the suspect circulated widely, and 5 days later, a McDonald's employee in Altoona, Pennsylvania, recognized him and alerted police. He was arrested without incident, carrying a 9mm pistol with a homemade suppressor, extra ammunition, and a fake ID. Mangione's privileged background made the case even more shocking. Coming from a wealthy Maryland real estate family, he had excelled academically, serving as his high school valedictorian before graduating from the University of Pennsylvania. Friends had described him as humble and destined for success. However, authorities discovered handwritten notes on him that expressed deep hatred for the U.S. healthcare system and corporate America. He had written about insurance denials, high costs, and the U.S. ranking poorly in life expectancy despite massive healthcare spending. In one chilling note, he justified his actions, apologizing for the trauma caused but insisting that it was necessary. Another entry explicitly laid out his plan, describing the murder as targeted, precise, and not risking innocence. Law enforcement believes he was inspired by figures like Ted Kaczynski and saw the killing as a symbolic act against corruption. Mangione faces charges in multiple jurisdictions, making his case highly complex. Initially fighting extradition, he later waived the hearing and was transferred to New York. The charges against him include New York State charges, first-degree murder in furtherance of terrorism, second-degree murder including 1 count as an act of terrorism, multiple counts of criminal possession of a weapon, criminal possession of a forged instrument for his fake ID. If convicted on these charges, he faces life in prison without parole. He is scheduled to appear in New York State Supreme Court on February 21st, 2025. Federal prosecutors in the Southern District of New York have also indicted Mangione, citing the interstate nature of his crime. The charges include using a firearm to commit murder, which carries a maximum penalty of death or life in prison. Interstate stalking resulting in death, also punishable by life. Stalking through interstate facilities resulting in death. Discharging a firearm with a silencer in furtherance of a violent crime, carrying a mandatory minimum of 30 years. Mangione has pleaded not guilty to all charges and remains held without bail at the Metropolitan Detention Center in Brooklyn. His legal team, led by Mark Agnifilo and Karen Friedman Agnifilo, has criticized the rare dual prosecutions, arguing they raise serious constitutional and double jeopardy concerns. They have vowed to challenge the charges vigorously. Despite the severity of the allegations, Mangione has garnered significant public support. His family expressed shock at the charges, while his growing base of supporters continues to donate and spread his message. His defense team launched an official case website in early 2025 to provide updates and counter misinformation. Mangione's case continues to be one of the most polarizing legal battles in recent history, with strong opinions on both sides. Whether seen as a corporate antagonist or a violent extremist, his trial is set to unfold in a courtroom filled with national attention. This is Cassidy AI, reporting for Trendwave, part of the Middle MAGA network.